travel insurance yet? Hello guys, how are we doing and welcome back to the channel. Today is a very different video. I have not done one of these before and it is a Q&A. We're going to be covering all sorts of things, including what to expect of my channel in Black Ops 6, so what are my content plans, some opinions on competitive CoD, Call of Duty tips and tricks that people are asking, and then some personal ones in there as well. So if you want to get to know me a little bit better, if you want to know what my plans are for Black Ops 6 and you just want to get a vibe for me, this video is going to be great. And yeah, the gameplay in the background is some solid MW3 gameplay, so you've got something to watch while I waffle and waffle and waffle. So kick back, relax, and enjoy. So first question comes from D2, and they ask, do you think age matters in CoD? Like, do you think there's an age where the game is not for you in terms of being competitive? So probably yes. I myself are in my late 20s, and I definitely get that feeling. But I think the biggest thing that is that life gets in the way. When you get older, you get more commitments, you start moving out, you get a dog, you have children eventually. I'm not there yet, obviously. So yeah, I think that stops you from playing as much, and that therefore creates a skill gap to the younger kids who are 18 and don't really have as much commitment. I think also there's probably a physical benefit where younger people have better reaction time, better hand, like, you know, faster hand-eye coordination, their hands are a little bit more maneuverable. But on the flip side of that, I do think when you're older, you have a little bit more wisdom. You've got a little bit more experience in the game, so you can use the more theory side of Call of Duty to benefit you. So, for example, I think my physical peak was probably a few years ago, where I had the best reactions and I was really cracked. I could run an SMG without a worry. But now I understand the game more than ever, so I'm able to be a bit more methodical in my gameplay and still get to that real 1% iridescent level every year. So I definitely think it's doable. Who knows when I go into my next few years whether it will stay the same. Next question from Iggy Household. I've been told hitting Diamond 1 with only 3 months on controller being capped at 100 frames per second is good. Would you agree, perhaps? Very good. If I jumped to keyboard and mouse after playing controller for 15 years, I would have definitely not even touched silver. So yeah, very good. Interesting question from Lana here. What made me start creating content? So obviously I've been playing CoD for years. I've been playing everything, like all sorts for years. But through like World War II, Black Ops 4, I had really solid, I only really played pubs. That was my main thing, but I had really solid like 3-4 KDs there. And then through MW19, I thought, you know what, I'm pretty good at this as well. Let me just start putting just random, raw, non-edited, not even any commentary gameplays onto YouTube for people just to see what I'm about and see what people think I'm good and, you know, how it stacks up. So I used to go like 88 and 3 and 89 and 3 and some stuff on like maps on MW19. I'll just stick the gameplay up. And then things that did well were, you know, people started to ask for class setups, so I did class setups and they did really well. And then when it got to Cold War, I pretty much started with class setups and then some gameplays. And then it got to when League Play released for Cold War, I put up a League Play gameplay and people loved it. And from then I've just done comp content over and over again. And every year, every video I try and make better than what I would have done last year. And that's why we're here now. And that's why I'm doing a Q&A. I've got a really lovely community. But yeah, it started because I wanted to sort of flex, I guess, that I was okay at the game. But it was like, why not? I'm playing the game anyway. Putting a video up on YouTube adds nothing, but you know, it doesn't create much more time, so why not? So we've got a few questions here from Arctic. First one, dream competitive map pool, 5 S&D, 5 hardpoint, third game mode. It doesn't have to be control maps from any CoD. So I'm going to aim to put a couple of new maps in there as well, because I know people are just going to be like, just say pretty much a BO2 map pool. So I'm going to try and mix it up a little bit. But any of these things, let me know your opinion. So S&D, I'm going to go Raid, Freight, and Archidon from BO4. And then 2 newer ones, I'm probably going to go with Moscow from Cold War and Tuscan from Vanguard. Hardpoint-wise, Slums, Raid Again, and London Docks from World War II. But I think Gunrunner was a great map in a crap game on MW19, and I really liked Apocalypse from Cold War. So they're my rogue newer choices for you. Third game mode wise, Standoff Capture the Flag was banging. Arsenal Control was really good. I think Hotel Control from a newer map was really good as well. But I also think Berlin Control had a lot of unnecessary hate, so I wouldn't mind playing Berlin Control again. That was pretty good.
Yeah, something like that.
Next question you have is pick my preferred option from a... So it's would you rather, essentially, is what the next set is. So live pings allowed or static pings only. Static pings only for sure. Lethal kill streaks allowed or no kill streaks allowed. I'm going with all kill streaks allowed. I need the dope. Would I rather play on 150 millisecond ping with good hit detection or 20 millisecond ping with shit hit detection? Essentially is what you're saying there. The only thing that I don't like about high ping is the hit detection, so I'm going with 150 millisecond ping with good hit detection. That's my option. Only a slow sniper allowed or all snipers banned. I would love a slow sniper. Get a sniper in. It's great for S&D. It's entertaining to watch and play. Trophy is an upgrade or tactical. I don't think it's bad as a field upgrade. I don't think it doesn't have a place there, so I'm going to keep it with that. If it's not broke, don't fix it. No doors or no swimming. No doors. Black Ops 4 was a great game. It had swimming, didn't have doors, felt perfect. As soon as they started adding doors, but they didn't have swimming, the game got a little bit weird. So yeah, I'm going with no doors. And then flawless anti-cheat or no hidden MMR. So because I typically play Crim, Iridescent, some top 250 lobbies, I'd much rather a flawless anti-cheat than a no hidden MMR. Easy for me. Next question you have is rank the following CoD skills from most to least important at my level. So I think the fundamentals out of these 5 are probably centering and then movement and pacing. If you can't move and you can't aim, you're not going to be good at anything else. It's not going to help. From them, I would then probably say awareness and position, because it can make the game way easier for you. I'd then say instincts and adapting quickly is next, and then I'd say communication skills, because there's people, even in the league, people say have awful communication, but they're still cracked and they're still a pro, so probably it can't matter that much, especially when you're just, playing ranked play. Next question from Cole says, I peaked in Crim 2 last season and hit Iri this season. What would you, and hit Crim this season, what would be your #1 tip to take the next step to Iri? So in my opinion, a lot of the times, obviously I haven't seen your gameplay, but a lot of the times people who are sat in Crim 2 and can't quite get to Iri, it's normally not a physical skill issue, like you can shoot and move properly. It's more so a matter of holding the right areas, reading the map properly and things like that. So I would definitely do VOD review, make sure you learn your spawns, but be really picky about where you're holding when you're watching your own gameplay back and the decisions you make in the game, because they're going to be the small incremental things you can change that'll get you to that next step. So we then have some fairly personal questions from G3. So this is a great way to get to know me. So what's your background, studies, work, etc.? So I am a part qualified accountant. I work in I've sort of been studying since I was like 18, but it's not gone as quickly as I'd like it to have been. But I'm essentially a commercial finance business partner. That's my role for a manufacturer, and I work from home most of the time. So yeah, pretty good job. What got me into gaming? Streaming and content creation. So I've already said the streaming and content creation sort of side of things, but I grew up with 2 younger siblings, and living in where I live, there's not much sun. So a lot of the times you just sit in with your brothers, just play a game, and it'd be like Halo or CoD back in the day, and just a 1v1v1 free for all essentially would be all we'd do, and that's pretty much how I got into gaming, and I've never looked back. Life goals, blimey, what a heavy question. Life goals, I just want to enjoy my time. I want to see as much as I can see and do as much as I can do, but be healthy as well. Like they're the big things for me, and yeah, that sort of ties into what I care about most in life. I want to see things. I want to do things. I have a dog who's lovely. I live with my fiance as well, so obviously I care about them. But yeah, I just want to experience what there is to experience. That'd be great. Where do I see myself in 10 years? Probably still playing video games, not as heavily. Probably not creating content, if I'm being realistic. Hopefully fully qualified, hopefully in a really good job, and hopefully keeping a nice work-life balance to enable me to like travel the world and see things I really want to see and experience what I want to experience. How do you combine content creation with other daily life things? So I live with as I say, my fiance, who is really understanding. She knows this is like a passion of mine. So there's 2 days a week I go on in the evening, so it's usually a Sunday and usually some other time in the week, and that's like my main gaming / editing times. I then sometimes, if she's working late, I'll squeeze a little bit in time then. If she's got some plans in the evening, I'll game then. So I don't game as much as probably people think, which is why sometimes when I'm actually busy in my real life, things like, you know, I don't get videos out as much as I'd like to. But yeah, that's pretty much how I balance it as well. And I finished a little bit early on Fridays as well from work, so I do get a little bit more time there. But it's working around that as well, because I don't want it just to be like, yeah, that's the hard balance. But 2 evenings a week, and then whenever I can, is probably the best way to balance it. And as I say, thankful she's fairly understanding. What's the first game you played? Intense. So back in the day, I used to watch comp Halo 3. Like when Halo 3 was first out, so we're talking a while ago now, and that sort of got me into Halo comp, so I played a little bit of that. I then sort of got onto the CoD grind. Probably I didn't play any of the jetpacks, so I played from CoD 3 all the way up to Ghosts, and then I didn't play from whatever was after Ghosts until Infinite Warfare. So I missed out that bit, but when I got back, it was MW Remastered, World War II, Black Ops, and that's when I started to grind it. But then when I actually started to get into rank play, wanted to understand the spawns, wanted to get really better, was Cold War. So that's probably my quick answer, Cold War. Question from Not That Guys: How long did it take you to go from bot to go? Also, what helps you when you hit that mental block with the game, brain dead teammates, etc. So, as I say, I've been playing God since CoD 3. Me and my brothers have played each other. My brothers are also pretty good at video games as well, so it helps that I've had a decent competition to play against all the time. So that's probably how it's just life experience. As far as how to not hit that mental block is concerned, I think understanding it's just a game, control what you can control, and if you can't control it, don't worry about it. It's probably a massive thing. But you've also got to try and balance your mental health out in the real world as well, outside of Call of Duty, where you know, you're eating right, you're exercising well, you're getting enough fresh air, and spending time with your family, because that all builds up and it does help. That's something I have to fix myself as well, so I definitely know firsthand that is something that can benefit your in-game too. But yeah, good question. Where's Harrz from? From Frite here. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm from the USA. So I live in England, within the UK. Right in the middle of the country. I think the town I actually live in is the town furthest away from any coast, so literally middle of the country, middle of England. What can we expect from the channel going into Black Ops 6 is a good question from Washed Up Snacks, and this is something that is actually quite exciting for me to go through. A little bit of a teaser for some of you who have stayed this long into the video. So essentially, in short, I'm going to be doing what I do for MW3, but better and more. So the Help with Harrz guides will continue. I'll keep doing, there'll be like more live comms of my own gameplay, more breakdowns of my own gameplay. All the map guides will be there, but what I'm going to do is build this real big, almost like an encyclopedia for Black Ops 6 maps, where every time it's going to be a document you can load up on your tablet, your PC, or your phone, and you'll have a list of maps. So you can click on a map and it will take you to the map, and it will give you the callouts, it will give you the spawn guide, it will give you an S&D guide, some S&D bomb check spots, some nade spots, some jump spots. Maybe it will just be a link to a video, but it will all be there and really easy for you to navigate, and hopefully save you reaming through my channel looking for a very specific guide. But that's all going to be in like a Google Doc that you can share with your friends. It's not going to cost you anything. So that's going to be something that I'm going to really aim to get really nice for you guys. So it's a real, like, essentially the CoD map guide Bible you can have just by your side whenever you're hopping on. So yeah, that's going to be a massive thing. And then hopefully, I dabbled a little bit in this through MW3. It's just start one-on-one coaching sessions where people come up to me. People have asked me this a lot actually, so this is why I'm starting it, where they come to me. Unfortunately, it's going to be paid, but Help with Harrz is free, so that's the other option. But one-on-one coaching sessions where we spend like 90 minutes going through what you want to work on and hopefully benefit from that as well. So a lot of things. It's going to essentially, as I said, what I do now plus more and better. Question from Eli. As a keyboard and mouse player, I would like to ask you if in your opinion, it's a good thing that on Black Ops 6 they will be reducing aim assist in close range fights. Is this nerf going to make more room for keyboard and mouse, or controller will still dominate as an input device? So general consensus with keyboard and mouse controller gameplay is that keyboard and mouse players fare better at further range gunfights, like Warzone sort of levels of further range. but struggle at close range. And I think I generally agree with that for the most part. So I think it's a really good idea. I think something Track said in the beta is that they wanted to balance out the input disparity. So what I noticed is that they've actually scrapped aim assist completely within 3 meters so that you're on a real level playing field with a keyboard and mouse player. And that adds a skill gap. And I'm always happy for an added skill gap. It really, who isn't at the end of the day? I think if you're a good player, I feel like you want to be able to differentiate yourself even more. And having that extra skill gap is going to help. But as far as that's concerned with keyboard and mouse, I think that's going to hopefully level it out a little bit. But I also think Call of Duty will always be a controller-focused game. I think most of their player base is controller players, so they're not going to do anything to piss off most of their community, are they? So I think, unfortunately, it will always be the case that controller will dominate. I think that's just how it's going to be for Call of Duty. But I think at least there's a good sign that in Black Ops 6, that Treyarch are going to actually try and level it out somewhat. And I think, if anything, it adds a skill gap for controller players to try and get better and, separate themselves from others. So I think it's a good thing. The final question from OP Grims: best way to get better or used to using your kill feed and keeping track of opponents. So from a respawn map perspective, I've written a little bit down here because it was a lot to think about. From the start, you just want to try and make sure how many people are dead. So when you're holding a point, after you've done a successful rotation, I'm sure, what you want to try and do is, when you get your kills, just have a look at the kill feed, and you're only really looking for the colors and the teams. So you notice, okay, 2 of them dead, we're looking for 2 more. And that's the start. That's where you start in using the kill feed to benefit your gameplay. From there, you can then look for the remaining 2 kills, and then, okay, that's 2 down. Where are the next 2? We've killed the next 2. They're all off spawn. Let's push up a little bit more. That's sort of how you want to use it. And then the next step from that is really to push and check the names. Because sometimes what will happen with the first theory is that you might have double counted someone, so you're not accounting for someone, but you really want to nail that first bit beforehand. With S&D, it's really useful that when you die, the only thing you're useful for is knowing who killed you and watching the kill cam. So it's a really easy way to implement that into your gameplay. Know who died, where they are, say their name. So say, I don't know, if their name, say it's me, Harrz is at B. What will happen is that when a player on your team gets a kill, they know sort of where I was coming from and when, so they can make their own decision based on that. So S&D, it's a little bit easier. But yeah, in short, notice how many players are dead, work off that, and then just slowly improve as you go through. So yeah, turns out to be a little bit of a longer video than I expected, but I appreciate everyone who asked a question. If you have any other questions that unfortunately I'm probably not going to do another Q&A for a while, just because I don't want the channel to be filled with them. But if you have any other questions whatsoever, leave it down in the comments, and if it's something I can answer quickly, I will do. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao for now.
It should be up here.